Yeah, it's going down, man. It's Donnie Houston Podcast. I am Donnie Houston. Check it out, man. We have two very special guests in the house today. Two DJs. This is going to be a real exciting one. It's always cool to catch up with the DJs, man. Gracie Chavez and Bobby. What's going on? How y'all doing?
Pretty good. Thanks for having us, Donnie.
Hey, man. Thanks for coming on. How y'all feeling?
Blessed.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. Safe, blessed.
I'm back in Houston too, so it's a it's a good day.
You back in Houston? Where you coming from?
Yeah, I just moved back recently from LA.
Oh, nice. Did you just move back during COVID and all this?
Like literally right before COVID.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I ended up moving back over here, and then I bought a house like right during the pandemic. So it's been fun, but I'm glad to be back home for sure.
Nice. So Gracie, what's going on?
Just trying to, adapt, in the last year or so. I guess last like 7-8 months have been crazy, but trying not to skip a beat.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely. So we celebrating 10 years, Bombon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Air horns.
For sure. 10 years, man. That's a hell of a milestone. Let's talk about it. Let's just talk about the party in general and just the origin of it and how you guys even got to this place to celebrating 10 years.
Do you want to?
No, I'll let Gracie take that one.
I would say, we were, it was about, 10, 15 years ago. Bobby and I were already established DJs here in Houston, and every now and then we would end the night with a fun cumbia like remix or something, because everybody's nice and toasty. They don't care. They're just having a good time. He had just taken off to Monterrey.
Yeah, I think I just got back, right?
No, you just got back from Monterrey.
It's funny.
And he was teaching out there or something, right? Or were you going
Well,
to
I was
school?
out there going to school.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when he came back with like a shitload of like Latin music, and I was like, I'm not gonna let him like outplay me,
Yeah.
But it was kind of like a fun little rivalry we had going on and stuff. But a mutual friend of ours approached me about doing a cumbia night. And I should probably back up and say like maybe 10, 15 years ago, when you said a Latin night, what you really meant was like a salsa night. And if it was a salsa night, that probably meant you had to dress up.
It's more formal.
Dress code. There was probably a big cover at the door. And then once you did get in, you had to like be a great salsa dancer if you wanted to even step up to a girl, right?
Yeah, definitely. If you've never been to a salsa event or salsa party, it's different. Yeah,
it was a little bougie.
It's intimidating too.
Yeah, and so we're like, you know what? Let's do something like that is a little more like down to earth.
Yeah.
And I think for us, like, we were listening to a lot of like what's called Cumbia Digital, which is digital cumbia coming out of like South America. Basically it was your traditional like cumbia tracks, but there was like beefed up or club ready, right?
Yeah.
And so when our friend approached us, he said, let's start a night where we can play all this, because he was really into it. The only thing is that he wasn't even a DJ.
Not yet.
And I remember thinking like, man, you don't even DJ, and you don't even have any resources. I gotta tell you what, I was like, we'll try it out one night. I'll bring sound. I got a place where we could do it. I want to bring Bobby in. I want to bring Antonio in, and because I was already DJing with these dudes, right? And, figured if anything, Alex could be the opener.
When you think about it, it's kind of ballsy, right? Like a noob, you don't really know. Hey, Gracie, let's start a night. It's pretty ballsy.
Yeah, it was pretty ballsy. And so I was like, just for his moxie, I was like, let's fucking do it. What I mean? So, I would say we got it together within like a month and a half. And then December of 2010, we lugged a bunch of speakers up, Avant Garden upstairs.
Yeah.
Where, Waves on
Oh,
Westheimer
yeah.
is that now, right?
Avant Garden, the party house.
Yeah, 2 sets of turntables. And what else?
And a lot of sweaty vibes.
Yeah. So yeah, so I think I mean, I'm just gonna say it like this, but I think that crowd that came that first night was really a mix between like people that like followed him and I, you know what I mean? And then they told their friends, and so on and so forth, right?
Yeah, the way it kind of started out was like we had an idea, right? We like this cumbia music, and nobody really plays it out. Well, not in our scene anyway. There's no real scene here in Houston.
There was no real scene
for cumbia music. You know, when you hear cumbia music, it's like at a quinceañera, or your dad and your uncles are grilling in the backyard, and you know that's the kind of vibes. So it's like it's a very organic, really chill.
And it's accessible. And here's the thing with cumbia, like it's not hard to dance.
No, super easy.
And you know, and let me just say, like I learned, like, you know, in the last 10 years, the reason cumbia is so simple is because and it comes from Colombia, right? And the slaves came to Colombia on the plantations. They would dance to cumbe, you know, which is a West African word for like party or whatever. They would dance by candlelight, and it was a courtship dance, right? And so, you know, the red handkerchief was given to the lady that they liked, and you know, back then, right? But the reason the steps are so simple is because they were still in shackles.
Oh man, okay. I think you were telling me this one time. Yeah. This is really interesting.
So it's very proletariat, very like working class, very accessible, like music, very accessible, like dancing.
I think globally, like cumbia is like the hood music of Latin America.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now it's kind of like reggaeton's like making its way.
Right.
But like even now, like you go to the barrio, it's cumbia.
That's like kind of music of the people, kind of more.
Yes,
so like that?
correct.
I got you.
And so in one of the, like soon after, we outgrew avant-garde, and then we went into another space. We went to Fox Hollow, and I mean, I'm probably gonna blast some people, but the salsa night that was there had a problem with us.
Oh, there was already an existing salsa night. So when you guys came around, it was like, oh, y'all.
Yeah, but
did they feel like y'all were trying to step in?
No, not at all. No, they just thought it was just trash music. Like, why are we even playing that? Like, you know? And then it wasn't that we were just playing cumbia, but we were also playing dancehall. We were also playing Houston rap. You know, we were also playing like.
You gotta sprinkle in everything.
Yeah, you know, and so pretty soon people are like, how you're dressed now, you could just show up. And then it wasn't by design, but after a while, like the LGBTQ community was also showing up, because like they're like no gender, like, you know, issues, because like now, like, you know, how can I put it, like having a same-sex couple dancing was like nothing, but if it was at a typical Latin club, that's not really accepted, you know, or wasn't really accepted. So then all of a sudden it was just like this, it just started attracting a bunch of like different kinds of people.
Yeah. And
I would say probably by the second or third year, man, we had,
I think even by like the second year it's pretty strong. No, second, third year was really strong, and I think.
And we're talking like, it was a monthly. We're talking like anywhere between like 500 to 800 people, like rotating throughout the night there. You know what I mean? And it was, man, yeah. We didn't do a weekly because that was a lot to handle, but like monthlies for sure.
And a very, when you think of like Latin party, right, or like Latin music, you don't, the kind of crowd that we had was always super multicultural.
Correct.
So like even if you go through and look at some of our old photos, man, the parties were just live and full of different kinds of people from, you know, all over the place. It was pretty awesome. And it became more than just like, oh, I really like this music, I'm gonna play it. Because at first, like, we didn't really have a place to play cumbia in I guess our outlets. So like when we would drop it, it was kind of novelty, You know, you play it, everybody get hype that knew that stuff, and then I'll throw some Houston rap over it, and it was cool. But it's just like after that song, that's it. You don't really.
And you know, I will say that I think a big part of like even like the way we delivered it, you know, okay, first you had to create the atmosphere, right? And we had the playlist, we had the music, right? But I think, you know, coming from like Bobby and like his, you know, turntablist, like, you know, background, we set up like, you know, 2x4s. And, you know, or we eventually we did three.
Yeah, I think once we got to Fox Hollow,
yeah,
we would
once
start
we got,
doing...
we had three, and so we would play like the scratch pickles, pretty much, you know, like we would play off each other. Like I'd be playing a song, he'd be cutting over me and stuff, and then like
really giving a real show. This is a real show.
Right.
So
and so that's what made it different. Like it wasn't just one DJ up in the altar, you know, playing.
Which is, it's kind of cool because, like, you know, as a DJ, when you start playing, you get locked in and you want to just keep going.
Yeah.
But I think the way that we all play together, it's
we did a round robin.
We kind of round robin. And even if I have a couple more that I want to throw in, Gracie will be like, all right. And then we just, like, play off of each other.
It was like literally like by the time like, you know, we were done at Fox Hollow, it was like playing baseball. We had like, you know, like signals and hand signals and like, you know, you go like where you at, like 120 or whatever, you know.
Nice.
That type of thing. And like it made it fun for us. And I also kind of feel like we broke down that fourth wall when we invited people to bring in their own instruments like the Wida, and we added Ilya, who had a djembe, you know, an African drum. He would like go out in the middle of the dance floor, and like girls just went wild dropping the, you know, like every time he like, you know, went out, and because he just had everybody around him and stuff. And then Mel, when we added Mel, I think Mel is like our MC, and she, God, I don't even know how to describe Mel. She just has like a big personality. And she would be maybe at the bar or in the restroom, still MC, asking people to bring her shots. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
So like, she's that type of personality where like, you know, girls want to be her best friend and guys want to be with her. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, she just like, I think she was the last like piece to Bombon when it all started coming together. And it was just like having her on the mic, acting a fool sometimes.
Because that's what we were missing, right? For a while. Like, you know, it's hard. Anybody can, like, get on a mic and MC and, you know, talk to the crowd and stuff. But the way she engaged with everybody and, like, includes them. Yeah. It was just, in general, the party is super inclusive. But she just added a whole different kind of atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. And it let us just focus on the music. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So, yeah, I think, you know, it just created this space where everybody just felt like couldn't wait. Like, first Saturday of the month, Bombon, you know? And so I would say probably by 2015, after Bobby had been putting out some remixes, me and Squincy had put out some remixes, Alex was working on some stuff. We finally jumped in on the like production game.
Nice,
you know?
Nice.
And now,
have you guys been incorporating production into the Bombon Party, or y'all just producing?
Oh yeah, since the inception, like, because like early on, you know, the music, it wasn't as widespread.
It was
as it
scarce.
Is. Yeah,
it
wasn't
so
as
scarce.
much as it is now. You know, there was a few producers here. You know, there was producers in Argentina, people doing stuff. You know, in Cumbia and Mexico, and so you would have to kind of really dig hard and deep
to find
these like these tracks. So a lot of the times we would, you know, make our own remixes, or our friends that played the same type of music would make these remixes, and you know that's how we started. And like,
just because we needed to fill a void, because like, you know, Shane and I did the, you know, Dougie, we took, you know. And we did the, you know, Cumbia version of it and stuff with the accordion in it and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. You know, and just,
And then a lot of times when I play, I do a lot of remixes and blends.
Correct.
On the fly.
You ideas.
And it sucks because I always have a lot of good shit when I'm playing, and then I get home and I don't ever make that track.
Yeah.
But while I'm playing, it's like, you know, a bunch of remixes that don't really exist. So it's a little bit of that. Even though I wish produced more stuff and made these tracks. But like while we're playing, you know, Gracie will drop a traditional cumbia and I'll do some drums over it, or I'll play, you know, an instrumental or whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, it was real super collaborative. And then I'm gonna like brag on this dude because like I think by the time 2013 came around, 2013, yeah, it was 2013. He submitted what is it? What'd you do
for the Red Bull?
For the Red Bull thing.
So I got invited to participate in like this Red Bull 3-style battle.
Oh, 3-style, yeah.
And it was back then it was an invite only, and I don't even remember how I got invited because, to be honest, you know, in 2013 I was already kind of like, you know, the only thing I was really DJing was Bombon. You know, I stopped doing the hip hop parties. I wasn't doing any real like party rocking or like open format DJing anymore, and it was just mostly focusing on Bombon. So to be invited to something like that, it was like, man, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and I was just telling him also, like, Bobby has, like, him and his brother are part of the Texas Scratch League. And so, you know, they've been doing routines, you know, for a long time. So when he finally got invited to do, or, you know, the Red Bull 3-style, he was like, it was kind of at the, like, right where Bombon was, like, picking up steam, you know? And I think what kind of made it hard for the rest of us is because, like, not only did he compete, but some of our other homies competed, and we were like, damn, like, who do we cheer on? But yeah.
So that was kind of
he won. He won.
Okay, you left that part out. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that part.
Okay.
Man, I'm not even gonna lie. That shit was pretty dope,
Yeah,
dude.
it was pretty
I
dope.
watched it recently.
Do you have this on video somewhere?
Yeah.
I have it. It's on YouTube.
It's
You
on
can go
YouTube.
find it.
Yeah.
OG Bobby Trill, Red Bull 3-style.
Yeah.
If you go YouTube that, you'll see some heat. For 20, it's pretty
Pop your
sick.
shit, man. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, man. Fuck that modest shit. Go ahead, man.
Wow, yeah. Dude, I remember just how, like, the whole place, it was at Fitzgerald's, just erupted. Like, when he played, like, just it's a 15-minute set, but it was just fucking all killer, no filler. You know? Dude, and then when he won, man, yeah, we were all so proud of him.
That's dope, man.
And I think after that, man, Red Bull really got behind us, you know? And then they started saying, hey, can we bring in bigger acts?
That's what I was going to ask y'all, because it went from, I know y'all had y'all core group of guys, you know, guys and girls that you were DJing with, but now it's expanded, you know what I mean? So this is through Red Bull. Is that what kind of led to that? Just bringing in the bigger acts or whatever?
Well, I think Red Bull helped us kind of build the momentum of the event and kind of bring in the bigger acts that we couldn't just bring down on our own. Some like the, you know, more I wouldn't say globally famous, but like some of the bigger acts, like
Master Blues.
Master Blues came. You know, they helped organize some of our you know, one-off events. But to bring in other people, it was just like, hey, who do we want to fuck with, right? Like,
yeah,
who's making noise and who do we want to bring in?
But you know, here's the other thing, and we talked about this too, because I think that sometimes Houston has, like, you know, or at least at the time, had this thing where you had to bring an out-of-town DJ to make your night pop, right? And then we always felt like, nah, you gotta just come and you know, support your home team.
Definitely.
You know,
definitely.
and I think there was a point in time where our crowd couldn't even tell you who our special international guest was. They were just there because
For the
we
party.
put on a
Yeah.
put on a good party.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what you want. You know what I
Right?
mean?
Yeah.
Which was, I mean, it helped us kind of cultivate, you know, this scene and this music, right, here in Houston, where, you know, we felt like, hey, people need to hear this, people want to hear this, but they don't even know that it exists, right? So we have to, like, expose them, and
Right.
part of our jobs as DJs too is, like, you know, it's hard to break records now. Like, when you're playing, you can't really break new shit because, like, you're playing stuff, people aren't gonna stop you and be like, hey, what's that track? You know, very seldom does that happen.
Track ID.
Yeah. You know, but like the regular people don't care what you're
No,
playing. They
they
just
don't.
want to
Have a
vibe,
good time.
right? So like us, the way we break new artists or break new records is like hey, who's making noise? Let's bring them on.
So
And,
yeah, for us, like the guest was like more like um you know, who we were geeking out about. You know what I mean? Who we wanted to see.
Yeah.
And it really didn't matter. Like we would put them on first if we wanted to or
Yeah.
whatever. But people were really, when y'all going on? You know what I mean? But you know, yeah. I mean, once the music started to sort of evolve, and do you want to talk about, you know, how we ended up like starting the label and then you know the whole Cumbia sound and stuff.
yeah. So like we were
Okay,
fucking-
so wait. So you kind of brushed over it a little bit, Gracie. So the party evolved into a label thing.
I mean,
Yeah.
because we had
It
like
only
a
makes
surplus
sense,
of
right?
music.
Yeah,
Right.
we were making music. We were, you know, fucking with other producers / DJs that were making
and other
music.
you know artists, singers, like
Yeah.
rappers and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was just like another way to kind of help push the
I
sound.
don't think we were like by design trying to like push something. It's just I felt like an organic,
it was
natural
super organic.
evolution.
Like the whole thing, the whole 10 years has been really organic.
Yeah.
But it's
yeah.
like what? It's almost like, hey, what do you want to do? Oh, let's do this. Okay, cool. What are your expectations? What do you want to do out of this? All right, I kind of like you know, I like this music. Let's
Yeah.
do it. All right, it
And
happens.
I think the brand had lent itself to being fun and flexible. You know, Bombon is like a double entendre, you know, because people always ask me that when they see my nameplate and stuff. You know, because like some people know it means a nice behind. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, that's what I thought. Bombon. I'm thinking, yeah.
But it also means something sweet, you know, whatever. But I always kind of felt like we all had like really big personalities. We all have big personalities in the crew. You know what I mean? And I also like the fact that, you know, there's women also in the crew, you know, and, you know, people looking up to Mel. You know, now we got, you know, Mexican Blackbird who plays only vinyl and plays like everything from soul to salsa, you know? But, and, you know, some newer members.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
How many
you know?
DJs do you have down with Bombon, with the whole Bombon movement?
Well, come next month, November 7th, when we do our anniversary, we're going to induct 4 new members.
Nice.
They're all out of the Texas area, outside of
Nice.
the Texas area,
Nice,
right?
nice.
So I think the total of DJs comes to like maybe I don't quote me on this, maybe like 12 or 14, somewhere like that.
Oh wow.
But then we also have like musicians, like, you know, producers. So it really is like a collective of like DJs and musicians.
So is the label Bonbon Records, or what is this?
Bonbon Music.
Bonbon Music. Okay.
So yeah.
And what upcoming releases do you have coming from the label?
Well, right now we've released, Cortez, who is one of our newer DJ producers. He's out of Austin, originally from El Paso. He just dropped an EP. It's mostly remixes, but I think he's working on some original stuff. I need to double check, but I'm not sure if he did some originals on this release. But All Day Ray also released something recently with a newer member out of Miami, Jean Sean. And what else?
I think we're about to release something for the anniversary.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
A compilation.
Nice. Okay, so let's talk about the anniversary. We got the anniversary coming up November 7th.
Yep.
And we're gonna do it location wise because with everything going on, this is online, correct?
Correct.
But it's
we're
also
doing
at
it's
Proper,
a little,
right?
Yeah.
It's
So
kinda-
if anybody's ever seen Boiler Room,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's kind of that same scenario. We're gonna, you know, we're gonna stream live from Proper House, which is here in Houston, and you know, obviously it's gonna be the crew that can make it here in real life, and then open it up to a few folks to kind of join us, you know, in the actual celebration. But then we're streaming it live on Twitch, so
Nice,
that people that
nice.
can't join us can watch and stuff. So, yeah.
Which has been good. I mean, it's the whole pandemic has been really shitty, especially like for DJs. So it's been healthy, like being able to stream and getting on, and the whole streaming movement's kind of picking up steam. So it's good. We don't have to like completely shut off our outlet, and at the same time, things are starting to open back up, and people are trying to get back to normal. But like, we obviously don't want to just like open up a big party and bring in
Right.
400 people
Bonbon,
that we don't know.
I got the COVID at the Bombon
Yeah,
anniversary.
Imagine
that's
that.
true.
Imagine that. We'll be on the
We
news.
would not want to be responsible for that. But yeah, I think, the last couple of years when we've done, our anniversary, we've introduced or inducted like new members. And I think the idea is, for us, or at least for me, I guess I'm going to speak for myself, that this was never like an I thing, you know what I mean? That it really is for us, like building like the community. And, this was before the whole Latinx term or whatever it was. Because, Bobby, he grew up in A-Leaf, I grew up in the North Side and stuff. I mean, I'm listening to, dance hall, and I'm listening to cumbias and Houston rap and like this and that. Why can't I just like play it all in one place? You know what I mean? And
the truth about that too is you're not the only one listening to that, which you find out when you do the party.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then to find other folks that were like into it, like, even though I think each one of us, like the founding members, had their own little style. Like every time I'd hear a salsa track, or bachata, I knew that was Alex on the tables, right? Or if I hear some cumbia villeras, I knew it was him. And like I would play a lot of like Dirty South, like what was it? What did what's his name from Dallas call it?
Crunk cumbias?
Yeah, crunk cumbias,
Yeah.
like DJ Panic and stuff. So, but music was pretty scarce back then. And so in the last few years, we've added more folks that we thought would enhance, like
The sound selection.
Yeah.
and
it, like Gracie said, for us, and me too, it's never been about me or what I bring to Bombon. It's always about what Bombon brings to everybody, or what Bombon brings to Houston, or to
because
the
we
state
saw
or
we
the
saw
world,
how much it brought people together. You know what I mean? When we weren't even trying, we were just fucking around because we were like,
Just
we
doing what you love.
enjoyed- Yeah. We were just enjoying the music and stuff. I think the first night we had maybe 40 people,
Yeah,
not including us.
maybe.
Or maybe including us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're adding folks that we feel like are not just DJs. Now we've got like, even Jay, he's a photographer. Life Begins at Midnight. He was our original photographer. I want to say shout out to Jay because I feel like his photography, and now he's like, he was on tour with what's it called, the Trap Karaoke and stuff right before.
Nice.
So he's blown up or whatever. But in the beginning, I think he was instrumental in helping us build because his photography at the parties, when like
he was able to capture the moment.
Correct.
Yeah.
So Monday, Tuesday after the parties, like this is what y'all missed. You know what I mean? And this is before Instagram really like took off, but people were starting to tag themselves, and so it was easy for it to go viral and whatnot. So yeah, shout out to him because I kind of feel like that.
he's
really,
like the unsung hero, dude. Because
for
like
real, yeah.
I remember, fucking around in Montrose, or like I'd be at a party, some random place, and then Jay posts some really cool pictures. So I was like, that's how I met him, because I like his pictures were always cool.
And it also helped that he's like Colombian. You know what I mean?
So he gets it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
man, I think he was creeping at our first few parties, didn't say a word. I was like, man, this guy like doesn't like me or something, like what's going on? And then one night as we were wrapping up, he's like, hey, I really dig that you played whatever was a real traditional cumbia like song, and I didn't know that he was Colombian, and he told me. I was like, oh shit, okay, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, it's like there's this word, a phrase in Spanish, and I guess Mexicans use it, I don't know, but it's a phrase called ni de aquí ni de allá, which means like not from here but not from there. And so as like first generation immigrants, from first generation from immigrant parents, like you never really felt like Latin enough, but you weren't like really like American enough either. So I feel like we sort of captured this like in between crowd.
And that's what I was going to say too. Is that, I mean, speak on just, you know, being able to fill that void and kind of be that voice in Houston with us having that large of a demographic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely, man. Like South Americans. Oh my God, I had not heard of punta until Bombon. Like in Central America, you know, this like style of music called punta, and it's like super fast and like the way you dance it and stuff. Like because there's a huge Central American like community here, you know, Salvadorans, Hondurans, you know, Nicaraguenses and stuff. They all started coming. You know, like holy fuck.
Yeah.
You know, but it was cool because like then you know you learn you learn stuff. You learn new music and.
I think for me, one of those learning points was like when we played in New York.
Oh
and
yeah.
I'm from here. I'm from Alief, so like all my Latin homies are like Colombian, Salvadoran, Mexican, Venezuelan. You know, I don't really know a lot of Dominicans. And in New York, we played, and people were like, "Play some Dominican stuff. Play some Dominican stuff." And I didn't know, and I would play it. I just didn't know that it was like Dominican dembow. I didn't know that that's what they wanted to hear, but
Right.
I've been playing
Yeah.
that. I just didn't know that hey, this is like Dominican music. So it's like you learn shit along the
Yeah.
way too.
Yeah. So, okay, how can they get tickets to the 10-year anniversary?
So
You
we've
gotta
got
know somebody that knows somebody that knows
right,
somebody.
right. So you know, like I said, we're doing this collaboration with Proper House, Proper Creative, and pretty soon we'll put out a link where people can go and get their pre-sale tickets. We do have you know some generous sponsors that are going to help us at the bar.
Nice.
So you know that includes Espolón, Topo Chico, Four Corners Brewery. So we're pretty happy to have them on board. So yeah, pre-sale tickets are $25. It'll be $40 at the door. Again, just to kind of keep the, you know, keep it to a minimum. But we
Keep
promise.
that COVID balance.
Yeah, we promise to like you know keep the party going, and it should be fun. And I think it's time that we know we celebrate a
For
little
sure.
bit.
If you don't follow us on Instagram, Bombon Texas, at Bombon Texas. Follow us on Twitter. You know, all the social medias. We keep the same handle, but you know we put out all the information. So any links that we have once the tickets become available, that's what we kind of been doing lately. Is like once we'll put out the link for the tickets and do everything online. So.
Nice. And also, real quick before we get out of here, because you were telling me about this new thing that you created within the pandemic with the Fabuloso party. So let's talk a little bit about that.
So yeah, I mean, I think we went from like doing like rallies for Beto, you know, I mean, big festivals like international like festivals and this and that, you know, Texas, like you know, we were rolling into like festival season, right? And then the pandemic happened, and it was sort of an overlap between the ad agency I had you know started with a friend of mine and the need to kind of start like ramping up like digital services, broadcasting services. I offered up Bombon as a live stream guinea pig. Called it Fabuloso. Decided, hey, let's do Sunday mornings, and it just kind of a throwback to cleaning the house with your mom, listening to salsa music, and
I want to say something. When I was a teacher, I used to teach in Alief, and dude, I was so surprised of like how many of my black students knew what Fabuloso was, because I would use that to clean my
That's some
chalkboard.
hood shit, man. Like,
And they were like,
you put it on the stove and shit. They talking about all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's some hood shit, man. Yeah.
And I was so surprised, dude. I was like, yo, how do you know about Fabuloso? Like, we use Fabuloso for everything. And then I remember one of my students' parents
bottle.
came, and she
Yeah,
was
the
like,
purple one, yeah.
she's like, you know, there's no antibacterial in here.
yeah.
And I was like, it smells good though.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, it does.
Yeah. So yeah, and so starting in March, like that just kind of evolved. So now we do like a weekly live stream on Sunday afternoons, Sunday brunch time, and we have a guest from all over the country. We almost had one from Mexico City, so that would have technically been our first international guest. But everybody kind of, it depends on like their logistics. You know what I mean?
Nice.
But yeah, we started off on Facebook and Instagram Live, and now we've migrated over to Twitch, and so we're at twitch.tv Bombon, Texas. But yeah, that's kind of like been our hub during the whole pandemic, because like we obviously can't perform live, and I was just saying to a friend recently that I started to get comments from folks tuning in saying like, man, this is giving me life, you know what I mean? Just a little break from like, remember we were all stuck in the our homes, like not able to really like do anything but go to the grocery store, gas station and back, but yeah, people chiming in and stuff just kind of egged us on.
Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with Twitch, but it's definitely, it's like own community, and the way we've kind of embraced it and been embraced, it's pretty cool, because like you get to interact with whatever the channel is, right? So like the chats get live, people are on there. It's like you get to chat with some people, like some of your fans or some other artists.
And I will say, Bobby's taken a lot of creative liberty with his overlays, his frames, his greens.
Yeah, it's been cool, man.
Yeah. I got to get in. I was just telling Gracie, I have to get into Twitch, man. Like I haven't really DJ'd a lot recently. But like when the pandemic first started, I'd be online on Instagram and all that. But I've been hearing they've been cutting back, so I started getting into Twitch, and I was just like, okay, this is a lot. Like I need to commit to learning all this. You know what I mean? But
I
want to get into it, man, and explore.
But when you're sitting at home and you
ain't got nothing to do.
It was like,
Man, I wish I had nothing to do. It's funny, man. Like I'm a full-time. I work full-time. I have a career outside of DJing, and then I'm a dad full-time, right? So it's
Which, by the way, he met his wife at Bombon.
Oh man.
True. Yeah, at like the second or third Bombon.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time.
And I think a lot of people have met and married and all that.
It's dangerous, man. Don't show up.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Unless
you're ready for cuffing season, don't.
Right. You end up like was it buying like dad fit shoes like
Dude,
pretty
instantly.
soon.
Yeah, you show up to Bombon. Next thing you know, you'll be buying Monarchs and barbecue pits.
Oh man, that's funny. So okay, social media before we get out of here.
Everything's Bombon, Texas.
Personal social media.
Mine is OG Bobby Trill.
OG Bobby Trill, Gracie Chavez.
DJ Gracie Chavez.
DJ Gracie Chavez. Bombon, Texas on Twitch. Bombon, Texas on Instagram. November 7th, y'all look out for the 10-year anniversary. Look out for the announcement of the pre-sale tickets and all that. And hey, man, support everything they have going on. This is great. I'm gonna make it out there and see maybe I can find me a little wife or something. But hey, man, I appreciate y'all coming through, man.
Yeah, thanks
for having us.
For sure. It's Donnie Houston Podcast. I'm Donnie Houston, Gracie Chavez, OG Bobby Trill. We out.
Donnie Houston.